Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's still good morning, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Noofa Burshid, and I'm in my second year as a PhD candidate. 1 year and 7 months for now. Apart from that, I'm a risk officer at the National Bank of Bahrain. Today, my presentation will be about investigation of FinTech adoption in the banking industry. My presentation will cover the following item, starting with the research background, followed by the gap identified in the literature in which the problem statement was formulated, and then the research question, research aim, adoption theory, and last but not least, the research expected contribution. Before starting my presentation, let me ask you one question. What is FinTech? FinTech is a shortened term for the word financial technology. FinTech refers to a new financial industry that uses innovation and technology in order to improve the financial activity. According to researchers and practitioners, the revolution of the fourth industrial revolution has started, and the revolution changes are so rapid that even finding a constant definition of FinTech in the literature is challenging. However, today I quote for you one of the definitions of FinTech as per the Basel Committee, in which it's referred to FinTech as an innovation that leads to new creation of business model, application, and processes that impact the financial market. FinTech as a term is not new. FinTech was previously referred to the back-end system used by the financial institution, in the way that if you want to open an account and you go to the customer service representative, the system that was used by the customer service representative to open an account for you was referred to as FinTech system. And if you want to go to the teller in order to deposit or withdraw an amount from the account, your account, the system that was used by the teller in order to withdraw or deposit amount into your account was referred to as FinTech system. However, after the financial crisis, when the consumer and the whole world loses their trust on the financial institution, consumer demand to have more consumer-oriented services, which means that they will be able to access their account at any time, at anywhere, at any place, for example, using the mobile application. And thus, the definition of FinTech was shifted to be more consumer-oriented definition. In this slide, we can show an example of FinTech services like e-wallet, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and mobile banking and cloud. Can I ask you another question? Can you provide me with example of FinTech services that you are currently using? So the question is to adopt or not to adopt. Although literature and practitioners believe that FinTech can reshape the future of financial industry, researchers and practitioners also believe that FinTech can provide a positive shift to the consumer perspective. But could this be true? Consumers today are uncertain about adopting FinTech services given the considerable amount of risk, like the financial losses, inadequate processes and system, or privacy and security issues like hacking. The existing research has not been giving much attention to the subject matter, and there is a lack of empirical research about the adoption of FinTech services introduced by the banking sector. So that is keeping our early discussion in mind, and according to the literature, there is a question that need to be, or challenging that need to be understood, which brings us to the research question. The first question is, what is the factor that significantly impact the diffusion of consumer intention to adopt FinTech services? And the second question is, which are the most influential factors that affect the consumer decision to adopt FinTech services? This study built upon an earlier study to investigate the factor that will influence the consumer behavior to adopt FinTech services. In my study, I used two dominant theories. The first series is technology of accepting model that we keep telling about it this morning, which is developed by Davis in 1989 in his doctoral thesis. Allah يعطينا وياكم ويبلغنا إن شاء الله كلنا. According to Davis, the main purpose of TAM is to trace the impact of external variable on internal belief, intention, and attitude. His model was widely used by researchers due to its usefulness to predict the adoption intention of a particular type of technology by using two variables, perceived ease of use and perceived usefulness. Another theory is diffusion of innovation theory that can trace back to 1960 by the work of Rogers. According to Rogers, there are 4 factors influence the spread of new technology, which is communication channels, time, innovation, and social system. Rogers has suggested 5 constructs in his construct, which is relative advantage, observability, triability, complexity, and compatibility. And according to him, if those 5 factors exist in any new innovation, it's most likely will be succeed and adopted by other users. Moving to the last slide, which is the significance of the study. Most existing research was mainly studied the application model of FinTech from the supplier side, which means that they mostly studied whether FinTech will threaten the core exist of banking, or they focus on FinTech as particular service like cryptocurrency and crowdfunding. However, few researchers pays attention to the empirical extension of previous studies apply FinTech from the demand side. So this study adds to the research of current research of FinTech services from the consumer side. The second aim is, this paper aimed to extend the application of traditional model like TAM and DOI, also applying other factors like trust and perceived risk. Moreover, this paper aimed to evaluate whether the integration of TAM and DOI would provide a robust theoretical ground to examine the adoption of FinTech services. And last but not least, this research may provide useful insight to practitioners and managers in order to oversee the new development of FinTech. Valuable information can be used by bankers in order to adjust their marketing strategy and their strategic goal implementation. Thank you for your attention, and now we'll open the floor for any questions.